Before we start, this video is sponsored by no one. Wala naman kasi akong sponsor. Kumusta? I'm Avard Joseph and welcome to Reset Worthy Recap Weekly Edition number 140. We have tons of covered since last week, so skip to the chances provided if it piques your interest and subscribe to the channel kasi wala namang masama, di ba? And let's get on with the video. Dalawang impeachment complaints kay BBM tuloy na. After a week ng nerbyosong pag-iintay sa tatlong pinasang impeachment complaints, lalo na at hindi tinanggap yung pangalawa at pangatlo, kung saan ang naunang impeachment ay dubious at incompetent at best.
Si Kong Pulong Duterte, he also said in a statement yesterday na lutong Macau. Do you also believe that lutong Macau itong impeachment complaint na to?
Well, nakakaduda. Kasi kung sinampa niya na impeachment complaint ay basura. 15 pages na walang mga ebidensya kundi mga news article. At sa tingin ko ay wala ito sa forma at walang substance yung kanyang final na impeachment complaint.
Tuloy na ang impeachment complaint ng Makabayan Bloc sa Kamara against BBM.
Kailan natin inaasahang magsisimula itong proceedings ng impeachment sa Pangulong Marcos lalo't na-endorse na po sa komite dyan sa Kamara?
We are actually considering the dates such as February 2, 3, and 4 to be our initial hearings, no?
Wow.
Pero I have yet to meet with the Justice Committee staff for the purpose of the issuance of the necessary notices and the preparation of the agenda, no?
Apo.
Pero initially, ito yung tinitingnan naming mga dates. Alam natin na somehow it causes what do you call this? Somehow it causes disturbances sa kaisipan ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino, and that is why we really want to provide ample attention to this as much as possible. Unahin na muna namin, no? While there are other pending bills or legislations before the Justice Committee.
Apo.
Or perhaps
Naipasa na sa House Committee on Justice ang dalawang impeachment complaints na i-file over the weekend at nitong Lunes. Ang ibig sabihin, hindi na uli pwedeng mag-file ng impeachment complaint laban kay PBBM sa loob ng isang taon from January 26, 2026 hanggang January 26, 2027 dahil considered as naumpisahan na ang impeachment proceedings the moment na pinasa ang mga impeachment complaint sa House Committee on Justice para pag-usapan.
Yung impeachment complaint din na ihahain o inihain po ng grupo nila Mike Defensor, matutuloy pa rin po ba yun? Masasama po ba yun? Or implemented na po yung 1-year ban dahil endorsed na tong dalawang complaint sa Committee on Justice?
I wish to comment only with respect to those which were referred to the Justice Committee, no? And as far as I am concerned, and under the rules, when these two complaints were referred to the Justice Committee, nung dumating sa Justice Committee, itong dalawang complaint, effectively, nabar na lahat ng paparating pang impeachment complaint against the President for a period of 1 year, no?
Okay.
That is since the time of filing, kung kailan final itong dalawang impeachment cases na ito.
Opo.
That explains the meaning of the 1-year bar
Yes.
rule, no, which is also pronounced in Francisco ruling.
Nung muntikan pa ngang maging walay ang impeachment ni Marcos dahil sa mga surface level na akusasyon laban sa kanya, which was, by the way, parroted by the DDS. Pero ayaw nilang gawing grounds for impeachment yon kasi nga alam nilang walang kwenta at wala silang ebidensya sa pagkokokaine daw ni Marcos at again, among other things, katulad ng pagpapalipad ni Marcos kay Duterte sa ICC.
Some congressmen also made observations on some of the grounds cited in the complaint against the president.
For me, personally, medyo flimsy itong ground na to eh.
Yung mga tungkol sa allegedly enabling yung arrest and then surrender, alam naman natin na merong warrant of arrest galing sa ICC. Diba? And then yung sa ICI naman, it's just speculation.
Ika nga katulad ng sinabi ng anak ni Duterte, parang lutong Macau yung impeachment complaint na iyon. Kaya buti na lang at to the rescue, ang Makabayan Bloc na may konkretong impeachment complaint laban kay BBM para imbes na mabakunahan lang, baka mapatumba talaga siya sa kapangyarihan. Akala nila magiging safe na si BBM kasi may hina yung unang impeachment complaint. Kaso, nakahabol yung Makabayan Bloc, kaya imbes na mabakunahan, baka mamaya mapatumba talaga siya sa kapangyarihan.
Yung dalawa pong complaint na naihain at ano po ang inyong pananaw doon?
Yung pong unang naihain ay wala pong substance. At yung pangalawa po, isa Makabayan Bloc, ito po medyo extensive yung kanilang narration o mga facts. So, meron po akong isang tinitingnan yung tungkol dun sa paggamit ng 23, 24, 25 national budget, yung pagpapabayad ng Pangulo na sa laulain ng Kongreso, yung ano na yan, yung mga budget na yan, ginamit yung program appropriation, inilagay po yung mga malalaki ang kickback.
Okay.
Pero yung unang impeachment complaint po, yung kay Attorney Andre De Jesus, basura po yan, wala po yun.
Nung una kasi, yung impeachment complaint na tilay hilaw lang ang napasa ng parang may koneksyong lawyer kay Liza or hindi lang talaga siya maayos gumawa ng impeachment complaint. Either way, makakataka si BBM sa impeachment kung yun lang yung pumasok na impeachment complaint. Pero again, dahil nga nakapasok at to the rescue ang Makabayan Bloc, mukhang magiging konkreto at malakas ang kaso laban kay BBM.
In fact, I dare anyone, including and especially Congressman Erice, to present evidence that I've somehow interacted with the First Lady, that I know the First Lady, that I've spoken with her, that I've met with her, because if he's able to prove or present evidence to that effect, I'm willing to have my balls cut off. And he will need a hacksaw for that because these are made of steel.
Nawang sabi ni Sandro Marcos nung nalaman na tuloy na yung dalawang impeachment complaint, hindi niya raw yun haharangin. Para raw hindi magkaroon ng conflict of interest, nag-recuse siya sa sarili niya. Not that he'd need to, dahil majority pa rin sa House of Representatives ang pabor kay PBBM or at the very least aligns with the administration, lalo na at again, yung anak niya nga, majority leader pa rin. Lalo na at fractured pa rin ang mga DDS at ang iba pang mga organisadong grupo.
Yes, maraming nagtatanong kung dahil ako ang majority leader, kung ano ang aking role. We need to remind people, Congress is constitutionally bound to hear these cases for anyone, for any impeachable officer, whether that is the president or not. So, sa mga nagsasabi na baka haharangin niya yung impeachment or whatever, I cannot do that. And I have to perform my duty as majority leader and perform my duty to the Constitution and my mandate. And that is to say that I cannot stop any impeachment complaint from being referred to the floor or to any or to the Committee on Justice. We have to let the process. We have to go through the process rather. And again, the President in Malacanang has stated that he's confident na wala naman siyang ginawang mali. And I share the same sentiment. So I will not be stopping or blocking any impeachment video.
Nabalitaan niyo na po ba itong si Kong Sandro nag-inhibit sa usapin tungkol sa impeachment. Ano po, nag-usap na po ba kayo?
Hindi. Ang katotohanan, hindi nabalitaan ko sa news din. Hindi niya sinasabi sa akin. Pero tama yung ginagawa niya. That's very proper. Dahil I am his father. And siyempre meron siyang bias for me. Kahit pilitin mo na walang bias, meron talaga siyang sana naman magkabayas siya, no? Dahil sa anak mo siya.
Pero hindi, sir, eh. Hindi, eh.
Hindi, pero tama yan. He should recuse himself. He should remove himself from the process so that the process can be seen to be fair and proper.
Ang nakakapagtaka lang talaga is hindi na bumalik si Attorney Torion, si Mike Defensor at Chavit Singson sa House of Representatives to represent the DDS bloc na magbibigay ng impeachment complaint din dapat. Dahil tulad ng nangyari sa Makabayan bloc on the same day, hindi tinanggap yung impeachment complaint ng mga DDS. Wala namang kongresistang nag-endorse ng kanilang impeachment complaint. Puro sila private citizens. Ang kailangan kapag gusto mong mag-file ka ng impeachment complaint, dapat may at least one na kongresista na mag-endorse sa complaint mo. Nahabag siguro sila kay BBM.
Was there an endorser from a representative of the House to endorse the complaint? Meron.
Yes.
Who was
Meron. Actually, nangyari dyan sa Kedwin, may mga kausap kami. In fact, we were in the office of a congressman. Nung hindi ni-receive, tinawagan ko sila.
Wag na.
Hindi, sabi ko lang, dyan lang kayo. Pag ni-receive, baba kayo. Sabi lang, sige. Kasi nga, it's hard to impeach a president.
Correct.
Siyempre, yung mga congressmen are very much affected by it. Yung gigipitin sila, pa-filean sila ng case.
Konting chismis lang.
Oo.
Yung bang mag-i-endorse sa impeachment nyo, minority o majority?
Actually, mix.
Mix?
Mix.
Oh. So may tatawid?
Ay, hindi naman. Well, ano ba? Hindi, mix eh.
Dapat nag-usap kami ni Egay, and apparently, I understand that you spoke to Egay if he was willing to endorse. And sabi niya, he doesn't want to endorse. And either naman ang sabi niya, complaint.
Yes, tama.
Both. But ang nakwento is that Kiko Barsaga was going to endorse kaso suspended. So, and then yung anak ni Chavit Singson was supposed to endorse also the complaint. So, who was your possible endorsers at least?
Ayaw nga niya sabihin
Hindi, nasabi na eh.
Wala siyang sinabi.
Lumabas na yung kwento eh.
May lumalabas na kwentong ganun. Pero, actually, yung kay Kiko, nung nakausap ko siya, sabi ko, Kiko, alam mo, maganda to kasi ito nga, ayan, you're a constitutionalist, Attorney Sherda. Suspended siya eh.
Talaga?
Suspended siya eh. So, pag nag-endorse siya, sabi ko, ano yan, that's something to be discussed by the Supreme Court.
Constitution.
Are you allowed to endorse or not? Kasi, you're still a sitting congressman, you're just suspended.
Right.
So, ano ba yan?
Yeah,
Yun
tama.
ang isa. But I told him, you can't be just the only one. Kasi pagka ikaw lang yan, delikado.
So ano na ang susunod na hakbang? Well, matapos ilagay sa order of business within 3 session days, ipapasa sa Committee on Justice within 10 session days, titignan na ng komite kung may pag-asa ba talaga itong impeachment complaint na ito. May substance ba siya o eme-eme lang? Kung may substance ang complaint, papasagutin si BBM whether personally, via representative or kahit hindi magpadala ng emisaryo. Basta, bigyan lang siya ng oportunidad to personally or at the very least, defend himself laban sa mga impeachment complaints na kanyang ikinakaharap. Magkakaroon rin ng hearing para sa mga complainant bago magkaroon ng botohan kung dapat bang i-refer ang impeachment complaint sa Senado o ibasura. Kailangan bumoto in affirmative ang 1/3 ng mga kongresista bago to ibigay sa Senado. Kaya siguro namayat itong si BBM kasi imbes na mabakunahan lang siya, baka totoo ngang ma-impeach siya lalo na at nandun ang pulidong gawa ng Makabayan bloc laban kay PBBM. Impeachment ni Sara, finally unconstitutional na. What do you get when you sit on multiple complaints and wait literally 2 months before acting kasi inaantay mong magpasabog at magkuha ng mga pirma bago mag-adjourn ang Kongreso?
Wala pa eh. Wala pa silang sinasabi sa akin. I think the situation now, if I can describe it, is wait and see. It's wait and see. Especially with the rally of the Iglesia ni Cristo. No? I think that will be taken into account by the House members concerned.
Wait and see what, sir? What do you mean wait and see what?
Wait and see whether they will really file another complaint or not. Then I'll be forced to transmit these 3 complaints to the office of the Speaker.
Eventually spelling out the demise ng isang impeachment complaint that was endorsed by literally hundreds o more than 2/3 na mga kongresista. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity squandered kasi nga ikaw, masyado kang mabagal.
Secretary General, please respond.
Mr. Speaker, as of the present, the total number of members of the House of Representatives is 306.
The majority leader is recognized. Mr. Speaker, may we inquire from the Secretary General how many members of the House verified and swore before him the impeachment complaint? Secretary General, please respond to the query of the majority leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Section 14, Rule 4 of the Rules of Procedure, in impeachment proceedings, the total number of House members who verified and sworn before me this impeachment complaint is 215 House members.
Issued with finality, ibig sabihin walang tsansang umapela pa uli. Declared as unconstitutional na ang ginawa ng House of Representatives sa pang-4 na impeachment complaint laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Pinagpapatibay ng unanimous decision na ito ang isa pang unanimous decision nila last year sa pagdedeklarang unconstitutional ang pang-4 na impeachment complaint laban kay VP Sara Duterte.
Good afternoon. By a unanimous vote of all those participating, the Supreme Court en banc denied with finality the motion for reconsideration filed by the House of Representatives, which sought to reverse the Court's July 25, 2025 decision that declared the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte unconstitutional. It affirmed that the 4th impeachment complaint transmitted to the Senate on February 5, 2025 was already barred by Article 11, Section 3, Subsection 5 of the Constitution.
This is despite dating House Speaker Martin Romualdez's pleading sa kanyang motion for reconsideration na i-reverse ng Supreme Court ang kanilang ruling. A tall order kasi nga, again, unanimous ang desisyon ng Supreme Court among the voting members.
With full respect to the Constitution, in defense of institutional balance, and in the name of the Filipino people, the House of Representatives has filed a motion for reconsideration before the Supreme Court. This is not an act of defiance. It is an act of duty. We do not challenge the authority of the court. We seek only to preserve the rightful role of the House, the voice of the people, in the process of accountability. Let us be clear. The Constitution says the House of Representatives shall have the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. That power is not shared, not subject to pre-approval, and not conditional. Yet, in GR number 278353, the Supreme Court ruled otherwise, based on a misreading of facts and a retroactive imposition of the new rules. On February 5, 2025, the House transmitted the fourth impeachment complaint, filed and signed by 215 members, to the Senate. Only after this transmittal did we archive the earlier three complaints. The sequence matters. It proves there was only one valid initiation, not four. Even the court's own precedent, Francisco versus House, supports this. Only one impeachment can be initiated, and that initiation begins with a one-third endorsement or a referral. That is exactly what the House did. The court also said the Vice President was denied due process because she was not furnished a copy or given a chance to respond. But nowhere in the Constitution is that required before transmittal. In fact, in all past impeachments, the trial and the right to be heard take place in the Senate. To invent new rules now and apply them retroactively is not just unfair, it is constitutionally suspect. Let me say this with candor. A government of laws cannot allow any branch to become the judge of its own accountability. The Supreme Court is a co-equal branch of government. Its wisdom is deep, its authority is real. But its members, like the President and the Vice President, are also impeachable officers. When the court lays down rules for how it or others like it may be impeached, it puts itself in the dangerous position of writing conditions that may shield itself from future accountability. That is not how checks and balances work. We filed this motion for reconsideration not to provoke, but to protect. Not to assert supremacy, but to restore balances. Because if impeachments can be blocked by misunderstood facts or rules made after the fact, then accountability is not upheld, it is denied. To dissent is not to defy. To demand accountability is not to destabilize. To insist on constitutional integrity is not to weaken democracy, it is to strengthen it. We speak now not because it is easy, but because it is necessary.
Pero may binago sila sa kanilang ruling. Binago nila yung isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit nila binasura ang impeachment complaint, deeming it as unconstitutional last year. Ang problema kasi, nung nag-file ng mga unang impeachment complaints laban kay Duterte noong December 2,
ito pong complaint for impeachment ay pinirmahan ng 17 complainants. Ang mga galing sa civil society organizations, galing din sa religious sector, galing din sa ibang grupo. But they are filing all of these signatories, 17 signatories, are filing this in their personal capacity, even if they are members of various groups or of various party lists, etc. So, 17 po sila.
December 4 at December 19, 2024, inabot ng almost 2 months bago aksyonan ng Kamara when it was basically archived noong mag-adjourn sinidye ang Kongreso last year at ma-transfer o ma-refer na to the Senate yung impeachment complaint with the signature of more than 1/3 ng House of Representatives. Noong July, inacknowledge na within 10 session days naman ang ginawa ng House leadership. Meaning, hindi mapapaso at iba ang dahilan kung bakit unconstitutional ang impeachment. Hindi dahil mabagal sila kumilos, na nag-aantay pa sila ng pang-apat na impeachment complaint na para sa lahat ng pangmalakihan, pangmaramihan ang boboto para ma-fast track yung impeachment complaint. inacknowledge nila na walang mali doon, that it is done within 10 session days. Meaning hindi mapapaso at iba ang dahilan kung bakit unconstitutional ang impeachment. Dati kasi, ang isang session days ay pwedeng tumagal ng ilang araw, maybe even weeks. Pero ngayon, nagbago dahil ayon sa desisyon, kapag sinabing 10 session days in the context of an impeachment proceedings, ang sinasabi doon 10 calendar days daw yon kung saan may session ang Kongreso. Ibig sabihin, dahil Monday to Wednesday ang pasok ng House of Representatives, 3 session days na sa isang linggo in the context of an impeachment proceedings ang makakount. Ibig sabihin, they were approximately late around 20 session days na dapat hanggang 10 session days lang.
First, the first 3 impeachment complaints filed in accordance with the first mode of initiating an impeachment, that is, Article 11, Section 3, Subsection 2, were not placed in the order of business within the required 10 session days. It further elaborated that an impeachment complaint filed in accordance with the first mode of impeachment, which is Article 11, Section 3, Subsection 2, is deemed initiated for purposes of the 1-year bar in Article 11, Section 3, Subsection 5 when A. A properly verified and endorsed impeachment complaint is referred to the Committee on Justice. B. A properly verified and endorsed impeachment complaint is not placed in the order of business of the House within 10 session days, or referred to the Committee on Justice after it has been put in the order of business within 3 session days, as required by Article 11, Section 3, Subsection 2 of the Constitution.
We shouldn't dwell on it, pero marami ring nagsasabi na napaka-stricto nito. Lalo na at may sinabi pa na kailangan bigyan ng pagkakataon ng isang nang-impeach at ini-impeach para magbigay sa lahat ng miyembro ng House of Representatives ng kopya ng ebidensya nila laban sa isa't isa, either for defense or for the agro. Di ba nga mabibigyan na ng pagkakataon ng isang ini-impeach na official na depensahan ng kanilang sarili kapag trial na nila sa Senado. Hindi na kailangan sa House of Representatives kung fast track. Kumbaga ang way mo is the fast mode para i-impeach ang isang official. Na marami ang nadismaya sa naging desisyon ng Kamara, particularly Senate President Tito Sotto, saying na it's a judicial amendment sa Constitution, na it's a judicial overreach. Basically, pinahihirapan ang impeachment process dahil sa mga bagong rules raw.
In upholding its original decision, the Supreme Court also affirmed that its ruling does not absolve VP Sara Duterte of the offenses she is accused of committing. The court's decision was based on procedural grounds and did not rule on the merits of the allegations against VP Sara. Kaya nga, pwedeng magsampa uli ng impeachment case laban kay VP Sara, even with the same substantive grounds contained in last year's complaint. However, while it basically rests on technicalities, the resolution denying the motion for reconsideration appears to be a derogation of the House's constitutional powers and prerogatives. Ang nagkapareho dun sa main decision or original decision at sa resolution ngayon at nakakabahala pa rin, tulad sa naunang desisyon, may paglihis ang Korte Suprema sa letra at diwang nasa saligang batas ukol sa pantay at magkahiwalay na kapangyarihan ng hudikatura at lehislatura. As the latest SC ruling closes several doctrinal loopholes in its original decision, the court also took the opportunity presented by the motion for reconsideration to restructure, refurbish, and refine novel doctrinal pronouncements via an addendum to the original ponentia. As such, this second decision appears to me as not merely a denial of the MR or an affirmation of the original decision. It reads like an altogether new decision, but with the same result. By redefining what constitutes the initiation of impeachment and by converting legislative inaction into a constitutionally operative act, the court has crossed from interpretation into legislation. It is judicial legislation, Well-intentioned perhaps, but constitutionally infirm, because it straitjackets a co-equal branch through judicial overreach. The Supreme Court has not merely reviewed the House's compliance with clear constitutional commands, it has rewritten the operating manual for impeachment initiation. It has supplied new rules, new timelines, and new consequences that are nowhere found in the text. The effect is to discipline the procedure that the Constitution left for Congress to decide. This sets a very dangerous precedent that weakens separation of powers by transforming impeachment from a political safeguard into a judicially managed process, contrary to the design and spirit of the Constitution.
Pero don't worry, dahil ilang araw na lang, malilift na ang 1-year bar at pwede na ulit i-impeach si VP Sara Duterte, headed by none other than, probably, the Makabayan Bloc. Pero siguro hindi na yung katulad last year na I think more than 2/3 ng House of Representatives bumoto para i-impeach si Sara Duterte. Hindi na mangyayari yung ganon. That's truly sui generis, unprecedented, at one of its kind. Kaya naman ngayon, and this is kind of disappointing kay Soto, he is proposing probably a cha-cha para ma-amendahan ang konstitusyon para lang mapadali ang pag-i-impeach ng isang official para makorek kuno ang desisyon ng Supreme Court.
What we can do is meet with them. I mean, Congress, House of Representatives.
Okay.
Pag-usapan lang yung issue ng, pag-usapan namin yan. Kasi, ang nakikita ko na outright solution dito, which could not be called outright, palitan na natin konstitusyon. Baguhin na natin. Pagka ganyan, pagkatapos, marahil yung Constituent Assembly makakagalaw dyan or maghihintay tayo, decades. It will take years, mga retirement, bago tayo sana makakilos at mailagay natin uli sa lugar sa konstitusyon na. Kung hindi nila ako, ayoko ng CONCON, ayoko ng Constituent Assembly, pero pagka ganyan ang usapan, payag na ako. Dati nga madali, sapagkat yan talaga nilagay sa konstitusyon yan ng mga gumawa ng konstitusyon, lalo na yung option 3, na sinatawag nilang option 2, na 1/3 signatures lang, forward na kagad. Di ba dati nga, prayer lang, pinorward na Di ba? Sapagkat meron ng 1/3 na nakapirme. Hindi pwede magtagal. Kaya nilagay yun dun bakit natin pahihirapin ngayon? Katulad ng ginawa ngayon, at humihirap na. Talagang, kaya sabi ko, forgive me, but I think impeachment now is an impossible dream.
At yan ang pagtatapos ng newsworthy recap weekly edition for roughly the last week of January 2026. Napakahaba nitong buwan na to, hindi ko alam kung bakit, ang daming nangyayari. Now, mag-suggest more topics and or corrections to balitas if you feel I misrepresented them in any way. Actually, sa totoo lang, parang ang bilis nga ng January. I'm not really sure how it goes. Kasi like January 1 to January 15, napakabilis. Tapos January 15 to January 31, napakabago ng January 1 to January 15, pero yung January 15 to January 31, napakabilis. Ang daming nangyayari. Now, salamat sa panonood mga kabayang. For me, like, subscribe, and follow my links sa socials and for Joseph that will be linked down below. Actually, siguro ang dahilan is that the first half of 2026 January is idle sitting. Kumbaga, eme-eme lang. Pero yun lang. Susunod muli, of course. Paalam.